Can we all remain standing for a moment of silent prayer and meditation? Thank you. We may all be seated. Good morning, honorable colleagues. Let me take this opportunity to welcome our Honorable Premier, members of the Executive Council. I know that some have joined virtually, the Chief Whip and the Deputy Chief Whip, leaders of political parties, members of the Provincial Legislature, ladies and gentlemen, the people of Gauteng, you are all welcome to our sitting for today. And in my announcement, I know that there are a few apologies, but some of those apologies are related to members who have joined virtually. I'm not going to mention their names because they are in their house if you have joined virtually. But we have our visitors, our guests, sitting in the gallery there. A delegation from Tshwane University of Technology, our students, as well as some of the leaders in that institution, and I wish to actually welcome them in the house. But I also want to indicate that we do have house rules that guides the behavior and conduct of members when they're in the house, but also the conduct of visitors, because you are not allowed as a visitor to participate in the proceedings of the house, meaning you can't take pictures of members as they speak, you can't play pens, you can't also be excited when you hear something happening. In isiZulu, I say normally when we have visitors, thanda ukubukisa, ne? So don't be caught in that, because unfortunately I can't chase members away, but I can chase visitors when they don't behave in a proper manner. In our sitting today, we're also joined by a delegation from the National Council of Namibia, which is the Parliament of Namibia. Sitting on my left-hand side there, there's a delegation led by Honorable Kazongo Minja, who can stand up, leader of the delegation. We also have other honorable members from Namibia, Honorable Sikulo, Honorable Kaishungu, I told them that in South Africa or here in the legislature, we always check the gender balance when we are visited by colleagues, but also when we allow our delegation to go out, we also check the balance. Well, they're not as balanced as all that, but we can actually accept that. Honorable Kops, Honorable Kamrute, Honorable Shikongo, Honorable Kahab, Honorable or Mr. Mbingeneko, Ms. Subasubani, Mr. Kopa, and Ms. Mbudueva. They are all welcome. And I told them that this is not our country, but it's their country as well, because we're all colonized by the same colonial master. So we're the only country in the whole world that can call about in the whole world. Colleagues, normally when we have our visitors, we also want to announce our evacuation plan for house sittings in the case of an emergency or on hearing an emergency alarm. Please note the following. The Sergeant at Arms, together with service officers, will assist honorable members and visitors to evacuate the house through the nearest exit. The guests in the auditorium will be assisted by evacuation wardens to actually exit. The closest exit to the house and auditorium is the red carpet stairs leading out to Risick Street. Please stay calm all the time, do not panic, and do not use the lifts. Use the stairs. We normally announce that when there are visitors, it's not for me to just send unnecessary alarms to visitors, but we always do it. Thank you very much. Let me also check if is there a member who wants to do an announcement. There are no announcements. Thank you very much. In terms of Rule 81, subsection 1, we have Honorable Dilange who's going to do a member statement. Honorable Dilange.
Good morning, Speaker. Good morning, guests and colleagues. Celebration of International Literacy Day, 8 September. Literacy is the most basic currency of the knowledge economy. On 8 September, countries worldwide will celebrate International Literacy Day. This year's theme is promoting literacy for a world in transition, building the foundation for sustainable and peaceful societies. Since 1967, International Literacy Day, public of the importance of literacy as a matter of dignity and human rights, and to advance the literacy agenda towards a more literate and sustainable society. Despite steady progress made across the world, literacy challenges persist, with at least 763 million young people and adults lacking basic literacy skills as per 2020 statistics. Basic literacy among children in South Africa has declined, according to the newest report from the 2030 Reading Panel. Most children leave grade 1 without knowing the alphabet, while 82% of grade 4 children cannot read for meaning. Only the Western Cape and Gauteng are taking steps to address the literacy crisis. The important role of literacy in building more inclusive, peaceful, just and sustainable societies cannot be underestimated. By advocating this principle, it will embrace the reciprocal relationships between literacy and other areas of development. Literacy is central to the creation of such societies. While progress in other areas of development contributes to generating interest and motivation of people to acquire, use, and further develop their literacy and numeracy. Literacy is the cornerstone of education. This is more than just teaching a student how to read. It is about harnessing the power of reading to propel student readers and to innovate brainstorming ideas and solutions into existence. History has proven strong readers become strong leaders. Always remember, and I quote here from Kofi Annan, co-recipient of the Nobel Prize in 2001. Literacy is the bridge from misery to hope. I conclude, Madam Speaker, education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Shabalala.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Alexandra residents are not benefiting from the state-of-the-art Alexander Heritage Center because there has been no electricity or water for 4 months and 2 months respectively. These facilities are able to operate without water and electricity, as these compromise the well-being of both employees and visitors. I discovered this information during an oversight inspection at the Alexander Heritage Center yesterday as part of our Heritage Month campaign. We are also disappointed to learn that this facility is not contributing to the Alexandra economy because it's not adequately marketed to attract tourists and investors. The Gauteng Department of Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation has failed the people of Alexandra by not promoting this facility, which has resulted in low numbers of tourists visiting the center. This center has a rich history with the former late President Nelson Mandela, which has the potential to grow local investment and create employment and entrepreneurial opportunities for youth in Alexandra. As the day we demand that the Gauteng MEC of Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation, Morakani Musupe, urgently intervene and ensure that this center has access to water, electricity, and has proper and regular maintenance. There is a need for security to ensure the safety and hygiene standards for people visiting the center. Preserving our heritage sites is of utmost importance to the DA because it honors our forebearers' contribution and positively impacts the economy and provides employment opportunities. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Makwala. Honorable Makwala. Honorable Malema.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. In accordance with Rule 81.1, I, Honorable Paul Diuzo Malema, tables the following member statement on the interventions made by the ANC-led Gauteng provincial government in improving the lives of the people of Gauteng. Madam Speaker, the 2020-2021 Quality of Life Survey indicated extreme economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. The survey further identified evidence for substantial and growing psychosocial distress. It showed that levels of crime are high and issues of safety and security are of grave concern to residents. Today, I stand in this August House with proud that the ANC-led Gauteng provincial government is responding to the needs of the people that are identified by the pertinent scientific research through various interventions. Amongst others, the ANC-led government introduced TEACH, a program that seeks to address the structural constraints in the economy that continue to exclude the majority of Gauteng residents from participating effectively in the economy, Madam Speaker. In fighting crime, the ANC-led Gauteng provincial government, through the Department of Community Safety, recruited 6,000 people who were trained and are deployed in 361 townships, informal settlement and hostel areas, and has procured drones, vehicles, and panic buttons. Through the Department of E-Government, priority has been given to support key ICT projects, including establishing an effective e-policing strategy for the province. In addressing unemployment, Madam Speaker, the ANC-led government introduced Nasi Spani, a program aimed at fighting against unemployment in the province. By July of this year, 50,000 people had already received job offers. Madam Speaker, the ANC-led Gauteng provincial government, through the Department of Social Development, further launched Gauteng anti-substance abuse program to help drug addicts get their lives back on track. These efforts are in line with the ANC growing Gauteng Together 2030 roadmap and the ANC commitment to ensure that it leads an activist government. We are growing Gauteng Together, Madam Speaker. Realebo.
Honorable Kekana.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and good morning to all the honorable members, the officials, and our honorable guests in the gallery. In accordance to Rule 81, subsection 1, I, Honorable Refilwe Kekana of the ANC, hereby tables the following member statement on the restoration of the dignity of our people. Madam Speaker, September is celebrated as the Heritage Month in South Africa, and we do so in appreciation of our rich, diverse, and common cultural heritage that makes us a proud South African nation. Supporting the role of culture is an important aspect of building social cohesion. Accordingly, Section 10 of the Constitution of South Africa guarantees everyone an inherent dignity and the right to have their dignity respected and protected. Against this background, the ANC-led Department of Social Development launched the state-of-the-art trade test center in Babsfontein here in Ekurhuleni, which will equip the youth with technical skills to be able to become qualified artisans. Furthermore, a business hub, which consists of 5 cooperatives specializing in poultry farming, welding, carpentry, electrical, and plumbing, was unveiled. These direct interventions by the ANC-led government are aimed at responding to the above constitutional prescript of restoring dignity of the people, resultantly responding to the ANC election manifesto of 2019, which calls for advancement of social transformation through maintenance and expansion of our social security system to protect the vulnerable and reduce poverty here in Gauteng. Madam Speaker, the department is well on track to achieve its core mandate of advancing social transformation. On this one, I say Remoho as the caucus of the ANC, and we say that people of South Africa shall govern. I therefore thank you for the opportunity, Madam Speaker, to present this. Thank you.
Honorable Litsia.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I just hope I would not have connectivity issues. I'm rising here, Honorable Speaker, in accordance with Rule 81 of 1. I'm Honorable Mapifo Litsie of the ANC tables the following member statement on the attacks in paramedics on call. Madam Speaker, the ANC in Gauteng stands firm in its commitment to ensuring the safety and well-being of all our healthcare professionals who tirelessly work to deliver crucial emergency medical services to the people of Gauteng. We believe that every health worker deserves to perform their duties without fear of violence or harm caused to him or her. Madam Speaker, in the recent past, 2 EMS workers were attacked in Mapias, Tshwane, while responding to a call. They were hijacked, after which their attackers kidnapped and robbed them of their equipment, cell phones and other belongings. They were taken to a shack in the bushes where they were assaulted and tied up while the attackers fled in the ambulance. We call upon the law enforcement agencies to take swift action in apprehending those responsible for these despicable acts which continue to happen unabated, and to bring the culprits to justice. A collaborative effort is required between the police, community members, and all stakeholders to put an end to these attacks and ensure a safe working environment to paramedics. Furthermore, we urge community members to have an appreciation of the work of these servicemen and women and show some respect and support for our paramedics and all health serve our communities and risking their own lives. Respect for emergency services personnel should be ingrained in our culture, and any assault on them should be met with its strongest possible consequences. The ANC in Gauteng remains committed to working with the law enforcement agencies and other relevant stakeholders to strengthen measures aimed at safeguarding the well-being of paramedics. We will advocate for increased security resources and better safety protocols to protect those who stand in the front line providing life-saving assistance. We are making this clarion call for all of us to stand together as a society and reject any form of violence against health workers. It is only through collective action and a shared commitment to the well-being of our paramedics and healthcare workers in general, that we can build a society that values and protects those who dedicate their lives to saving others. Let us unite against these senseless attacks and create a safer environment for our paramedics and all emergency medical personnel. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mukhali. Honorable
Thank you.
Mukhali. Okay.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. In accordance with Rule 811, I, Refilwe Mokhali of the ANC, tables the following member statement on the establishment of the state-owned bank and state-owned pharmaceutical company. Madam Speaker, the ANC-led government is pleased with the foundation laid by the Gauteng Department of Finance towards the establishment of the state-owned bank. The ANC is proud to confirm in this August House that Gauteng is on track to establish the state-owned bank and the state-owned pharmaceutical company to serve the interests of the people of Gauteng. The Finance Department recently announced that due diligence report on the state bank has been finalized and handed over to Gauteng provincial government. The department is also in a better position to move to the next level to consult with the Premier and consult broadly with stakeholders, including the economic development and labor fraternities. It is envisaged that the state-owned bank will address current market failures, including integrating SMMEs and unserved individuals in the formal financial sector, and with a unique value proposition, it will drive a mission of financial inclusion and security while offering a differentiated value proposition to customers whose needs are not being met by the current bank offerings. We are convinced that by supporting township entrepreneurs, including the access to tailor-made financing products to expand their businesses, the ANC-led government will create new jobs, increase access to goods and services, and promote much-needed economic development in the communities. The state-owned bank is one of the key mechanisms that will support us to grow the township economy and increase the overall contribution of Gauteng to the country's gross domestic product under the capable leadership of the ANC. The ANC-led government has indicated that legal due diligence for the establishment of the pharmaceutical company is also in an advanced stage. The proposed solution will address, among others, institutional arrangement, supply chain management, medicine procurement, distribution of medicines to provincial health facilities, medicine inventory and dispensary to members of the public. The ANC government occupies a strategic role in providing services to the needy communities across Gauteng province.
Thank you, Honourable Member.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Honourable Kanyile. Before Honourable Kanyile, Honourable Masilela, you know that you are not complying with the rules. Can you go and sort yourself out? I know that I ruled on that matter in the previous sitting, and I don't want to repeat today. Honourable Kanyile.
Thank you, Speaker. You should have also indicated to the delegation from Namibia that my name is Sokaile. Thank you, Chair. The function of Public Accounts Committees is understood generally to be ex post facto oversight. The Supreme Audit institutions have opined that ex post facto oversight can be meaningful if ex ante oversight on preventative controls on public fiscal management and governance is prioritized as well. Understanding the complementary role of these two sides of oversight will be the subject of discussion at the 15th Annual Conference of the South African Development Community Organization of Public Accounts Committee, SADCOPEC, to be held on the 2nd and 3rd of October 2023 in Durban. Deliberations at that conference will be guided by the aspirations of enhancing oversight for advanced ethical public financial management and accountability towards the development of Africa. Cooperation between the public accounts committees and the other constitutional and legislated bodies supporting oversight on the one hand, and the civil society organizations, professional bodies, and individual members of society on the other, should advance efforts to deepen democracy in the region. As the world evolves and the fourth industrial revolution is being entrenched, and opportunities are availed to ensure effective oversight on fiscal management, governance, and accountability. Properly strengthened and implemented oversight on fiscal management, governance, and accountability has the potential to accelerate the path towards the realization of the developmental goals of any nation. We are confident that with the participation of the representatives of this legislature, as shall be led by the South African Association of Public Accounts Committee, SAPAC, that conference and the annual general meeting to be held on the 4th of October will produce the desired outcomes to take forward the matters I've raised. Since SADCOPEC will be celebrating its 20th anniversary as it was established in 2003 per the Constitution, or per the resolution which was taken in South Africa in 2002, it is befitting that this conference is taking place in the country of birth of SADCOPEC. In this regard, delegates should leave that conference and AGM having agreed on how public accounts committees will be reshaped, refocused, and recapacitated to advance the evolving nature of the public accounts oversight function. This will not be realized without strong and effective coordinated effort of public accounts committees as led by SADCOPEC. This coordination will also ensure that SADCOPEC is influential in the region, the continent, and globally. Thank you very much.
Honorable Masugu.
Honorable Speaker, Premier of the Gauteng Province, members of the Executive Council, honorable members of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, our esteemed guests from Namibia Parliament, citizens of Gauteng, receive revolutionary greetings. Crime violates the constitutional right and basic human rights of feeling safe and being safe, especially against the vulnerable in our society, which are children, women, and the elderly, and people living with disability. A week ago, the Provincial Commissioner General Mawela presented Gauteng crime statistics to the Portfolio Committee. Yet again, Gauteng recorded an increase. Sadly, many seated the other side of the House seem not to fully comprehend the urgency of combating crime in all fronts collectively as a society. They resorted to play cheap, naive, and shallow politicking, purporting to be superior logic. Nothing superior whatsoever in their statements. Others blatantly expose their racist, skeptic posture, which is clear demonstration of their lack of appreciation of the statistics and what actually they mean. They fail to appreciate some progress recorded in certain categories of crime, like murder, cash-in-transit heist, and car hijacking. This progress gives hope that interventions made like Operation Chanela, which is a high-density multifocal operation, will make significant impact in the long run. Madam Speaker, the alarmist approach blinds many who are preoccupied with reactionary opposition politics. Academics and experts who pioneer evidence-based policing at Cambridge University posit that a better appreciation of impact of crime should be analyzed through a harm index. This is a reliable economic way to look at the true effect of criminal acts on society. Police and social interventions where and when harm is greatest. The interventions announced in the State of the Province by the Premier Honorable Panyaza Lesufi are geared towards addressing harm index. Interventions such as developmental crime prevention wardens, the introduction of CCTV cameras, and the installation or utilization of ePanic smart application, the galvanizing of all sectors of society in the fight against crime and crime prevention. Madam Speaker, annually on the first Sunday of September, South Africa commemorates all the police officers and members of the South African Police Service who have lost their lives in the line of duty. The day's objective is to demonstrate the country's appreciation of those who sacrifice their lives to make South Africa safe and feel safe. It should also be highlighted that the following facts: police stations alone is not enough. Police action alone is not enough. It requires the whole action of society through community police forums. Precautions like appropriate training and skilling for our police officers and provision of protective clothing such as bulletproof vests should be done. Provision of conducive and enabling working environment in police stations should be improved. To mention but a few, 34 police officers lost their lives in the past year, and in Gauteng there were 12. 8 of them lost their lives whilst they were off duty, and 4 they were on duty. A special mention should be made of a patroller, Mr. Isaac Meso, who lost his life on duty in Soshanguve last month in August 2023. We rise to echo the condolences expressed by President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa on the day of commemorating the lives of all police officers when he said, "Theirs is a noble duty, ensuring that all people in South Africa are safe and feel safe." Our sincere condolences to the families. I thank you, Speaker.
That concludes member statement. In terms of Rule 79, subsection 1, statement by members of the Executive Council, there is none. Motion without notice in terms of Rule 120, is there a member who wants to give a motion? No one, thank you. Giving a motion without notice in terms of Rule 121, there is none. Urgent questions in terms of Rule 135. Honorable Ntsege, your urgent question.
Thank you, Speaker. According to media reports, the Albert Street building, which burned last week on the 20th of August, with many people losing their lives, was owned by the City of Johannesburg, leased to Gauteng Department of Social Development, and Gauteng Department of Social Development had an NPO or NPOs running a shelter. With that in mind, what were the terms and conditions of the lease between DSD and City of Johannesburg? In this agreement, who was supposed to look after the maintenance of the building? From when date to when, another date, did DSD lease the building from City of Johannesburg? Which NPO or NPOs did DSD contract to run the shelter at this building? What type of shelter was the NPO or NPOs running, and how many people were they assisting? For the duration of the contract, how much in rands and cents were they paid, and what were the terms and conditions of this contract? From when to when did DSD contract the NPO? While the building was being used as a shelter, which department or was City of Johannesburg responsible for the maintenance? As DSD, were they satisfied with the maintenance that was done on the building? And lastly, if not, which areas were they dissatisfied with? Thank you.
I'm sure Honorable Ntsege, you'll agree with me. Your question needs more information, so it can't be responded to today. So I'm not going to even ask the Premier to respond on the question, which is an urgent question, but we'll take that question and put it accordingly as per the rules, because it requires a lot of information for now. Okay, thank you. That actually concludes the first part of our sitting. I'm now going to deal with a rule in terms of Rule 138, the question to the Premier. Premier, while you were still logged virtually, I introduced a delegation from Namibia that is here. They are members of the Public Accounts Committee of the Republic of Namibia, counterparts to Honorable Sokaile Kanyile. Thank you. Let me allow Honorable Malema to ask a question to the Premier.
Thank you once more, Honorable Speaker, and greetings to the House and to the most progressive Premier. I, Honorable Paul Malema of the African National Congress, hereby request, in terms of Rule 138, the placing of a question for oral reply by the Office of the Premier. Noting the launching of the NASI SPANI program by the ANC-led Gauteng Provincial Government, can the Premier please indicate the following? 1, what is the objective of the NASI SPANI program? 2, who is the target of the program? 3, how many jobs have so far been created through the NASI SPANI program? Lastly, how many youth, women, and people living with disability from townships, informal settlement, and hostels are most likely to benefit from the NASI SPANI program? Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Premier.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Thank you so much, Member Malema, for the questions. Truly appreciate that. But I want to start by warmly welcoming the delegation from Namibia. I hope the Speaker did the honors of warmly welcoming you into our province. And thank you so much for choosing to come here. That's the only dynamic, powerful, and beautiful province in our country. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Madam Speaker, allow me to also start by thanking members of this House that have been sending well wishes to me since yesterday. I must confirm I enjoyed my birthday, and I really appreciate your wishes. Thank you so much. Thank you. The cake is confined to my house for now, and there are reasons why it's confined there.
There are bus owners outside.
Yes. I must say I was tempted to check whether I can create 6,000 new cake bakers jobs in our province. But I felt, let me hold it. Madam Speaker, also allow me, this is the first time that Honorable Member Msimang is in the House ever since he was elected the new leader of the DA in our province. I want to personally congratulate him for his election and thank him that the party that is leading has confidence in him, and wish him the best of luck. Member Malema, Gauteng is a youthful province with almost 30% of young people of our country found in our province. Almost 5.8 million of our citizens are young people residing in our province. Approximately 2.2 of these young people sadly are unemployed. And it's for this reason that the Gauteng Provincial Government commemorated the 2023 Youth Day differently this year by embarking on a mass recruitment drive in response to the high employment levels in our province. Our call is influenced by the speech made by our former president of the African National Congress, Oliver Tambo, when he said, and I quote, "A country that doesn't take care of its youth does not deserve its future," end of quote. Therefore, the Gauteng Provincial Government in the month of June launched the NASI SPANI Mass Recruitment Program. A first of its kind, the program is a strategic recruitment drive aimed at addressing unemployment and promoting access to job opportunities available within the provincial governments and their agencies. In that regard, all available, I want to emphasize this point, Member Malema, all available funded posts within the Gauteng government have since been advertised and have since received 1.4 million applications from young people. This is keeping up with the commitment to tackle unemployment in the province. At the rally of the African National Congress on Saturday, the President of our country committed that the NASI SPANI program will now be formally introduced in 8 other provinces in our country. And an affirmation that indeed we are creative as a province and we are responding positively to the huge pain of unemployment. The Nasispani Mass Recruitment Program is a strategic response by the Gauteng Provincial Government to the existing unemployment amongst the designated groups in our province. The objective is to bring hope, increase the economic participation of the designated groups, and lower the high unemployment rates in our province. The main posts that were advertised on the 16th June under the Nasispani program are permanent posts that will be filled permanently in the departments. There are also a number of exiting and new expanded public works programs that the departments are also ensuring that they are advertised as part of our commitment as a province to assist young people. Member Malema will rather be accused of piecemeal solution rather than be accused of doing nothing. Will rather be accused of all the insults that the opposition wants to insult us, rather than allow our young people to sit basking in the sun doing nothing. Our Nasispani program is underpinned by more skills development so that young people get opportunities that will assist them to get work forever. We are committed to this program, and yesterday 6,000 young people started the skills development program to be solar panel technicians so that they can install solar panels in our country. We're excited about this program, and we are willing to get additional funds so that we can expand this program to those that have applied. Out of the 6,000 solar panel technician applications that we made, we received 25,000 applications. We went to the SETA, that is MSETA, manufacturing SETA, and we asked for additional funds, and they gave us additional 150 million rands to further train 25,000 young people in our program. This is a clear commitment on how we're trying to reskill our young people, because the challenge of unemployment in our province is not unemployment, it's the lack of relevant skills that can be matched to the economic expansion of our province. And it's within that context that we have made these interventions that we'll need. I'll come later to respond to some of the interventions that we're going to make in our province. So in response to your first question, the Nasispani is a strategic response by the provincial government to the existing high employment levels in our province. In terms of question 2, is the target of this program is targeted to our citizens in our townships, informal settlements and hostels, the Tish community, because this is the face of poverty and this is where a majority of our people are unemployed. In terms of question 3 of how many have benefited so far, you're quite aware that we advertised 6,000 permanent jobs for police wardens. Those particular jobs now, almost 4,000 have been filled. The remaining 2,000, we are working on recruiting people that are coming from the colored communities, Indian communities, and white communities. We've just finalized yesterday, 6,000 young people started their career-changing journey of being solar technicians. They started training yesterday. We also recruited 6,000 young people to be part of the expanded public works so that our townships can be clean as well, so that we don't have townships that are clean. We also advertised 6,000 jobs for those people that are willing to cut grass in our highways and fill potholes in all our areas. We also entered in an agreement with Uber, and we, on behalf of unemployed young people, bought motorbikes for those that are unemployed, and together with Uber, we will create 40,000 young people that are going to deliver food in our townships. We've also finalized an agreement with the private sector that will see 40 extra thousand young people that didn't have driver's licenses. They will have the skills of driver's licenses in our province. And we are also in the process of advertising 6,000 jobs for what we call education ambassadors, civic education ambassadors that will give support to our people. And we intend to advertise 12,000 new jobs next month for people that will connect our townships with internet due to our GBN contract that we've just finalized. All these jobs are meant to kickstart the need for the economy and the private sector to join us so that our young people can get opportunities. In terms of your last question, the number of designated groups likely to benefit will be guided by our employment equity targets, but will ensure those that are coming from the townships, informal settlements and hostels benefit out of this particular program. And I want to thank you, Member Malema, for this question, because it's an affirmation that in Gauteng is less talk, more work. Nasi is fine. Thank you so much.
Honorable Malema, do you have a supplementary question or a short remark?
Madam Speaker, thank you very much once more. No, other than to say the Premier has succinctly and cogently responded to all the salient points of my question. I really appreciate that comprehensive response. Thank you very much, Honorable Premier.
Madam Speaker.
Okay, Honorable Msimang.
Madam Speaker, I rise in Rule 138, subsection 9.
Okay.
You allowing me? Would the Premier admit that the Nasi Spani, as has been promulgated and so widely spoken about, had put the fiscus of the Gauteng province under pressure? Is the Premier going to admit, as COPA in their latest report indicate or tell the people of Gauteng that Gauteng is now being robbed blind in an attempt by the ANC to remain in power, to see to be doing something relevant right now? Thank you.
Honorable Ntsege.
Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Speaker.
Financials in Swat.
May I proceed, Speaker?
You have not submitted them.
Thank you, Speaker. The Premier just announced that the Nasi Spani is permanent. The social development brigades are one-year contracts. And the amount, when I calculated it for the 5,985 positions, comes to 263,172 million. And I wanted to find out, the MEC said last week, Tuesday, in a portfolio committee meeting, that the money, this 263 million, is coming from compensation of employees. I just want to find out from the Premier whether Nasi Spani is not going to be taking away critical skills needed, like social workers, psychologists, auxiliary social workers, if 263 million is going to Nasi Spani. Thank you so much, Speaker.
Honorable Adams.
Madam Speaker, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise on Rule 138, subsection 9. Honorable Premier, a rare consensus has emerged that unemployment is a central obstacle to the well-being of citizens and the stability of society. Each political party positions unemployment as an antagonist their policies will overcome. Each year, Honorable Premier, we measure our progress, failures and potential through the prism of unemployment. Having said that, Honorable Premier, the plight of our people, their needs like unemployment, cannot and must not be politicized. I want to say that we have been grateful as a constituency. We have decided as the constituency that we will back fully this Nasi Spani. We have seen how many of our young people who are on drugs, our young people who are gangsters, our young people who are falling by the wayside, have stood up again with new hope, revitalized in their lives. I want to say to you, Honorable Premier, rather me as in the opposition party wanting to criticize and kick down this program, we have decided to ask you, Premier, to run strong in this program. We will support you so that we'll be able to get our young people off the street, put food on their table. And me, Honorable Premier, I'm not here to buy faith from anyone. I'm here to say I fight for those destitute.
Honorable Adams. A remark is a remark. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Honorable Chief Whip.
Thank you so much.
No, before Premier, there was a hand. Honorable Chief Whip.
Thank you so much, Madam.
Oh, covered. Okay.
Madam Speaker, I always say the one who alleges is the one that must give evidence and proof. So whoever says that we are running out of funds as the Gauteng government, I'm challenging that person. In the next 48 hours, must send that proof to you. Because it makes no sense if I have to justify it, because the one that alleges must quote the proper document that we have run out of funds. The one that alleges must. The last time I checked, there's no danger of us not paying salaries in this province. There's no danger of any over expenditure. And the allegation that is made that NASISPAN has exhausted funds in Gauteng, whereas NASISPAN of the jobs that we've advertised, we have not even filled one position. We have not even filled it. So how does it run out of money when we have not even filled one position, because we are only starting now to fill those particular positions? So the accusation must be presented to you, Madam Speaker. We can't allow somebody to come and mislead this House. It's a serious accusation that Gauteng government has run out of money. It's a really serious accusation. And I'm calling upon you, Madam Speaker, that the one that alleges must not score cheap political points, must come and give evidence to you. Yes, the chairperson of SCOPA, if the chairperson of SCOPA must come and do those things. But let me put it on record so that it's clear. We have not run out of money. We've got sufficient funds to run all our programs in Gauteng. I want to put it on record that NASISPAN has not exhausted all our funds, and NASISPAN is a partnership with majority of SETAs. That we've got partnership with institutions like UBA, we've got partnership with MESSETA. Anyone who wants to misconstrue that NASISPAN is an overburden of the fiscals, that particular person is misrepresenting and misleading this House. But the jealousy will be there, Madam Speaker. Jealousy will be there that no one expected the government that I have the honor to lead to have 6 departments having clean audits. It can't be normal. It can't be normal. Those that wish to paint a picture of corruption, those that wish to paint a picture of mismanagement of funds, those that want to paint a picture of wasteful expenditure will forever have chest pains when this kind of results are released without any problem. So the level of chest pains has received, achieved a certain proportion that can be managed. Now people have to rely on lies instead of putting evidence. They are relying on lies, they are relying on gossips, they are relying on unfounded statements that the Gauteng provincial government is running off funds. So we want to put that on record. But we will welcome honest members of this House like Member Adams to say, if we have programs that benefit young people, let's put our political differences aside and allow young people to get opportunities in our province. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Give young people opportunities, don't politicize it. Let me tell you, Madam Speaker, let me tell you, there are certain political parties that thought they will use the issue of unemployment and the use of unemployed youth as a ticket for them to gather power in our province. Now that we have a tangible program, they even go to a rally on top of man-made machines to say those that we have appointed will be kicked out. Because those that have been appointed will never be chased away. They've got contracts and they've got permanent contracts, and they will continue to work in our province, and we must appreciate the work that they do.
Honorable members,
Anger is not a solution to economic problems.
Premier, can you hold? Honorable Aibo. Honorable Msimang. Honorable Msimang. Honorable Msimang, please. Honorable members, remember Hansard. Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable Msimang, Honorable Zamkomo, I'm going to take you out of the house because Hansard is recording. We need to get this on record. So when I say stop it, please do so. Don't continue heckling. Honorable,
Madam Speaker,
Honorable,
Madam Speaker, don't be surprised. This will be the norm until next year's elections. Because they can't provide evidence. They can't provide evidence. They can only shout and scream because there's nothing to counter our proposal that we have on the table. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Let me move to the question that was raised by Member Ntseka. Thank you so much, Member Ntseka. You can see that you are better than your leader, Member Ntseka. You are coming with facts, yeah? That there is a budget that has been set aside. If you can keep quiet, Member Msima. If you keep quiet, it's better because you know, if you don't keep quiet, we know people that panel B to our face. We don't want to take you there. We don't want to take you there. Yeah, let's not go there, man.
Honorable members.
It's you because we are putting lies in the house.
No, Honorable Msimang, please. Honorable members. Premier.
But it was in the public space. I can have a video of you bleeding. Yeah. No. So exactly, you are putting.
Honorable Makubela. Order members, order. Honorable Msimang. Honorable Masilela, don't join in the flail. Bakotwane, yeah, if it's a Tswane thing, you'll do it in Tswane, not in this house. Honorable Chief Whip, can I also beg for your indulgence? Can we have order, please? Hansard is recording. We need to get these responses on record. Nah, Honorable Chief Whip, please. Please, Chief Whip. Honorable members, Honorable Masilela, this is not Tswane, this is Gauteng province. Hansard is recording. We need to get these on record, please. Can you allow the Premier to respond? Over to you, Premier.
Can you see, Member? Speaker. Members raise questions when we answer the how. It does not assist. It does not assist. So, Member Ntseka, let me assure you, our job creation processes are not meant to eliminate jobs in the public sector. They are meant to supplement the work of social workers and socially auxiliary workers in our program. So that's our approach. We can't be on a hunt to create jobs by eliminating other jobs. It does not make sense. And any other person, therefore, that tries to paint that particular picture is misplaced. We will ensure that all the opportunities that we are creating and all the opportunities that are coming will strengthen the capability of the state to deliver its services. We are not creating jobs for the sake of creating jobs. We are creating jobs to supplement and strengthen the state so that the state can be in a position to render services to our people. And if there are limitations, we will deal with those. It's quite clear you don't know the rules of this House. I'm saying, Madam Speaker, if there are areas, and I want to put this so that I can put Member Msimang at ease, we have taken a decision as Cabinet that each and every post that is going to be filled, Treasury must sign that the funds are available. That's the decision that we have taken, so that we can ensure that each and every post is indeed funded and is available. Member Adams, thanks for the opportunity that you have given us to address young people in former colored communities. The arrangement assisted us to close the gap between colored communities that felt left out and colored communities that felt these opportunities are not meant for them. The arrangements that we had with you and your team was fulfilling, and I'm quite excited that the close to 2,500 colored young people that were part of your session yesterday on Sunday, it was an affirmation that if we work together as political parties, we can bring proper changes in our communities. Thank you so much, Madam.
Next question, Honorable Alberts, to the Premier.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Can the Premier indicate the following with regard to the emergency button project? 1. What was the rationale to tender for a service provider to create an emergency button when a technology is already available to acquire an off-the-shelf product? 2. Who received the tender, on what basis was it awarded, and what is the size of the awarded tender in financial terms and the number of buttons procured? 3. Explain the technology and parts of the emergency button and how it will work in practice to make Gauteng safer. And last question then, what are the timelines for the rollout of the emergency buttons, and where and by whom will it be used? Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Honourable Premier.
Thanks so much, Madam Speaker and Member Alberts. Member Alberts, our attempts to ensure that every South African is protected and that those that have smartphones can be in a position to use an e-panic button so that they can be protected when they are under threat or under attack by criminals. It's a very important initiative that we are working together with the law enforcement agencies, the private security firms, as well as the traffic corps and all those that are assigned the task of fighting crime in our province. Thus far, we've got almost 127,000 law enforcement agencies that are ready to support our communities and our citizens in our province, especially those that have installed the emergency e-panic button. The reason why we have to go to the market and not buy off-the-shelf available product is because we've established that there are more than 17 off-the-shelf products. And if we have to choose one without going through a competitive bid, it will affect regulations or Section 217 of the Constitution and SCM processes and procedures. And here are the reason why we felt that we need to go out for a tender so that those that have these products can be in a position to put their bid up front. One is customization. We don't want a general product. We want a product that will be customized to citizens of Gauteng, and a product that will track people of Gauteng, and a product that will be in a position to be functional in our province. Some of the products that we have, or what you call off-the-shelf product, are internationally owned, and it would be very difficult for them to be adapted to the South African or Gauteng situation. Secondly is integration. We want the emergency button to be integrated not only to the police, but to the ambulances, fire sections, and many other institutions of the state that need to respond under emergency. A customized solution will be designated to seamlessly connect three systems, providing a more comprehensive, effective emergency response solution. Number 4, it's security. We want the information that is gathered from our citizens to be protected and to utilize the information for only what it's meant for, rather than expose this information to international organizations that can use this information for other things, rather than the e-panic button mandate that we received from our people. Number 4, is customized data protection. The POPI Act mandates that personal information must be adequately protected. An organization must take appropriate measures to ensure that data privacy and security is protected. By opting for a custom solution, the government or organization can ensure that the emergency button projects aligns precisely with the specific data protection requirements as outlined in POPI. Scalability. The emergency button project is intended to serve a large and growing user base. A custom solution can be designated to be more scalable and adaptable to the changing needs in our province. 6, cost effectiveness. If we go for a competitive bid, we'll be in a position to get better deals out of the bid rather than pulling one off-the-shelf product without necessarily going through a competitive bid, thus subjecting government to a long-term costly contract that might be very difficult for us to pull out. 7, innovation. We are using the e-panic button to create a custom solution that allows for innovation and incorporation of cutting-edge technology. It will enable the development of features and functionalities that are not available in existing off-the-shelf products. In terms of question 2, who received the tender? The initial e-panic buttons procurement was a pilot project that was done through the request for quotation because it was less than 1 million rands, and that went to Onele Innovation through the Department of Community Safety, while the Department of eGov also went to have a bid that will assist them to pilot this particular project within a limited period, and they've also appointed Africa Desk to do that particular work. In terms of question 3, to explain the technology will be as follows. 1, it will have a button interface, and that button interface is the core of the emergency button. It will be a physical where we are using a physical tool, or digital while we are using the smartphone. Number 2 is communication mode. It will assist us to know who has pressed the button so that we avoid fake or misleading e-panic button. With the assistance of the CCTV cameras, but most importantly with the assistance of the smartphone technology, we'll be in a position to identify the owner, and we'll also be in a position to identify if that person is a resident in our area, if that particular person indeed needs assistance. Thirdly is power source. Depending on the application, the emergency button will have a built-in rechargeable battery or be connected to a power source so that people can be in a position to get. There is a battery backup is essential to ensure that the device functions also work through power outages. Number 4 is user identification to ensure that the right response is dispatched to the right person, and we are not going to be misled by those that might want to mislead the law enforcement agencies. Number 5 is alert management software. The emergency button will be linked to a central management system and software that will receive and manage the dispatches to the law enforcement agencies. Number 6 is a response interface. We can speak to the said individual who has pressed the emergency button so that we can check whether they are safe or they need medical help or any other form of help, so that we can collectively then provide the kind of assistance that it works. How the system will work: it will be activated through an emergency button. It will send an alert transmission, and the alert transmission will be received at the call center or integrated command center, and then the team will dispatch for assistance, and the confirmation from the person that requested the help will then be sent, and two-way communication with other law enforcement agencies will be dispersed so that we can be in a position to assist that particular individual. Member Alberts, we are at an advanced stage in the rollout of this program. We are now finalizing the command center that's going to be based in Centurion, and have concluded the appointment of law enforcement agencies within our province, and we're integrating it with other available e-panic buttons so that there can be a synchronized assistance in our province. In total, we'll be in a position to at least assist close to 8 million of the smartphone users in our province, and we are also engaging other telecommunication companies like Telkom, MTN, and Vodacom to make this service free of charge so that we can be in a position to reach as many people as possible in the townships, informal settlement, hostels, and distressed communities. Thank you once more, Member Alberts, for your question. Truly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Honorable Alberts, do you have a supplementary question or a short remark?
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Premier, for the answer. I just have a short follow-up question. The button will be a very central feature to assist people in emergencies. How would the Premier make sure that the emergencies that were contacted, emergency response units from the South African police or fire brigades or ambulances or others that might be linked to the button, how would he ensure that they do actually react properly in time as per international standards when a person calls for help? Thank you very much.
Honorable Msimanga.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Just to ask the Premier, there's still
mention the rule.
1389. There are still police stations that experience load shedding, and when they do experience load shedding, their communications gadgets don't work. Harankua, it's one of those. In Atteridgeville, when there's load shedding, they experience also inability to then connect. How is the Premier going to ensure that the panic buttons during load shedding will continue to be able to then reach the police stations that will require, communication for the police to then respond? Thank you.
Honorable Premier.
Thanks so much, Madam Speaker. Member Alberts, we are intending to enter into service delivery agreement with all the law enforcement agencies that need to assist us on this matter. It will be meaningless to invest so much if the e-panic button will not get the necessary support for those that need to come and give them support, especially the police. What we have now is that our police wardens, together with the private security industry and the municipalities, all of them agreed to participate in this project. If each and every traffic office of each and every local municipality participate in this program, it means all our communities are covered. In terms of the police and other law enforcement agencies that we need to be part of this, including intelligence community, because some of the information might be utilized by the intelligence community. We are in the process of finalizing that agreement. As soon as we conclude that part of an agreement, we'll be in a position to give you the timelines in which everyone must agree to respond to this matter. The pilot project currently, you can go it. If you have a smartphone, you can go now to our App Store or Android and just type Gauteng panic button. And go to Gauteng panic button now. I know it said MEC Msimang. It means we are going to coalition with you. No. Yeah, I don't want to go with you as well. I don't want to go. Yeah. So I'm saying, if you go there now and have, you will see the panic button is up and running. I can show you now, Member Msimang. Here is the panic button. We have it already. No. Members, if you are using Nkatele, I mean we can Nkatele already. I mean you can't use Nkatele for this. Hey. So Member Alberts.
Honourable members, please, we did not raise an issue, please.
People in informal settlement and areas where they don't have smartphone, we are going to give them a hard e-panic button. It's a hard copy. You press it. It has a battery. It's rechargeable. So the problem of Alcatel is that it's cartel, and you can't utilize it where it's difficult. Member Msimang, load shedding will not be a permanent feature, and therefore you can't stop planning about the future purely because you are scared of load shedding. If you have that mentality, then we have to stop everything that we are planning about it. So we will defeat load shedding, and as I'm speaking to you now, the government that I have the honor to lead have just finalized a bid for all government buildings to have solar panels in all their buildings, including the police. And therefore, that particular issue will be defeated in our province before the end of this year. That's the approach that we have taken so that we don't have the limitation that we have. But you can't say because they've stolen my cell phone, I am no longer going to use my cell phone for life. It does not work that way. Even if they've stolen your television set, you still watch TV. It does not mean if they've stolen your television set, you can't watch TV. So the approach, therefore... So we are, and I will come and I'll address this House, colleagues. We are working extraordinarily hard to limit the impact of load shedding in our province. We finalized all the necessary requirements, and I'll have the opportunity to brief this House how we're going to safeguard and protect Gauteng against load shedding. At the right moment, Member Msimang, we will address you and deal with the situation. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Next question on behalf of Honorable Makwala. Honorable Makhene, your question to the Premier.
Thank you very much, Speaker. And Premier, please just respond.
Ask your question, Honorable Makhene. Honorable Masilela. Honorable Masilela, I'm sure you are not tired of sitting in the House.
The Premier recently indicated that the Mirafong Solar from Farm project will produce 1,000 megawatts, and that 85 proposals were received towards achieving this goal. He, however, refused to provide clarity on who submitted their bids for this project. With this in mind, and for further shedding light on this project, can the Premier please respond to the following questions? How many megawatts does the city of Johannesburg need to be free from load shedding? What will be the impact of this solar project on the entire province? In your response, please indicate if Gauteng will be exempted from load shedding, or it will be just like the city of Cape Town, where it will be exempted from certain stages and not entirely. Why was City Power set apart from other contenders? In your response, please explain why it was specifically appointed, and with the 1,000 megawatts be solely generated from solar. In your response, please further explain what other renewable sources of electricity are being explored by the GPG, like hydropower within the province. I thank you. Scarrera.
Honorable Premier.
My only limitation with Member Makwala is that if you look at her headgear and my shirt, there's no difference. I'm really... In terms of your first question, Member Makwala, please, if you quote me correct. We have not said 1,000 megawatts, we said 800 megawatts, and this was said during the State of the Province address. We are continuing with that proposal. I've indicated earlier on that I want to take members of this House in confidence on how we want to stop load shedding in our province. At an appropriate moment, At the appropriate moment, we will set a debate and a discussion on this matter, and we will present it to you as members. So the megawatt required by the City of Johannesburg will be determined by the City of Johannesburg. We have a limitation in terms of law as the provincial government to deal with the issue of energy. And that's the reason why we have appointed City Power, because of its legislative mandate and its willingness to work with the provincial government. Other municipalities were very difficult to work with, and they were not even willing to coordinate these activities at a provincial level. So it's within that context, therefore, that we've elected and appointed City Power, and we've finalized a service level agreement. City Power will assist us in the interim to ensure that all those townships that are without transformers, they get their transformers from next week. And all those communities that were without electricity for the last 3 years, even outside the framework of load shedding, we will fix the mini station as from next week. And all those areas that are overloaded with illegal connections, we've come out of an electricity summit where we're joined by business, community organization, local government, and other stakeholders. We have agreed that the period from the 1st of September to the 31st of December will be a period to allow those that are illegally connected to the system to apply for connection, and those that don't apply for connection will remove them immediately from the grid. This is part of the processes of ensuring that we manage electricity in our area. We will also introduce smart meters in all our households and businesses, so that those that use power must be in a position to be charged, to be invoiced, and pay for that power. We'll also ensure that those that are indigent, we've got a new indigent register that we have assigned the MEC responsible for COCTA. Is an indigent register that will be linked to various databases, including the banks, as well as including liquor stores, so that if you pay liquor using your electronic card, we can be in a position to determine whether you can afford to pay electricity or not, including DSTV and many other institutions that you can. So we will be in a position to ensure that the indigents are protected, and those that need to pay must pay. In terms of your third question, why was City Power set apart from other contenders? It is important to note that there were no other contenders in the process of identifying City Power as an implementing agency. However, its selection was purely based on existing capacity and as an electricity entity, because as a province, we don't have a license to manage electricity. That is why City Power was appointed. In terms of the 1,000 megawatts that will be generated from solar, we've gone to the market, we've received 85 bids. These are companies based here in our country and internationally that are willing to generate emergency energy for us so that we can end load shedding in our province. As I've indicated, at the right moment after we've appointed these companies, we will be in a position to brief this House and tell you on other areas and brief you on how quick we're going to shield our province from load shedding. We are also looking at other alternate source of energy, that is waste to energy, gas to power, biomass, nuclear, and demand-side management initiative. Out of these processes, we will be in a position to make an announcement how province will manage the issue of load shedding. I want to thank Member Makwala for your kind questions. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Any supplementary question, Honorable Makgenya? Covered. Thank you. We now, that concludes the questions to the Premier. We're now going to deal with questions for oral reply to the Executive in terms of Rule 134, starting with Honorable Dilange to MEC for Transport and Logistics.
Thank you very much, Speaker. To the MEC of Roads and Logistics. The R500 link road between Carletonville and the N14, although this seemed to have commenced sometime in July 2023, It was shortly after that halted again, and the project is still incomplete. What are the reasons for the work that came to a halt? And then the R451, which is the link road granting access to the Crocodile Spruit Training Centre in Cullinan District. What is the status on resurfacing and road markings there? In terms of the Hendrik Potgieter Road, when is the completion date and upgrading and reopening of this link road to traffic due? I know the date was in October, but it does not seem like it might be able to open then. Then the road for the R24. This road has been without road markings for over 6 years. They started to paint the road markings of the provincial road, but it was suddenly halted. What is the progress on that? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Diale Tlabela.
Greetings, Speaker, and greetings to honorable members in the House. In response to Honorable Dilange, R500, like many other road infrastructure projects in our province, has experienced delays due to various reasons, and one of those is community project stoppages, as well as cash flow challenges that many of the contractors within this sector experiences. But however, the department is intervening to resolve the payment issues experienced by the SMMEs, and the work will resume, and we are hoping that we'll be able to complete the projects by the end of Q3. On R451, the road resurfacing and markings are planned to commence and completed also before the end of Q3. On Hendrik Potgieter Road Bridge, Member Dilani, you'll understand that we have bi-monthly stakeholder engagement with communities that reside around the bridge. And what we have communicated earlier this year when we commenced with the project is that the project will be completed by the end of November 2023, and we are still within schedule. The project is to be finished. If we can just visit the site now, you'll see that we are on track and it will be completed on time. The delays on R24 were due to procurement processes. However, the road marking on that provincial road will be completed by the end of September 2023. Thank you very much, Member Dilange, for the questions.
Honorable Dilange, any supplementary question or a short remark?
Thank you very much, Speaker. I think a short remark. I just want to remind the MEC and the department that the alternative roads around the Hendrik Potgieter is falling apart, and there was an undertaking that that road must be kept in a proper condition as well, which must happen through the Department of Province. And I just want to remind, please, we need to keep that going as well. Thank you.
I think if it's a new issue not related to this, Honorable Dilange will not put the MEC under pressure to respond, but I will leave it to you, MEC.
Thank you, Speaker. Member Dilange would know that the Hendrik Potgieter Street is one of the busiest roads in our province, and we are trying hard to ensure that we continuously maintain the diversion roads. Those are the JRA roads, and we are trying to work closely with them to ensure that we deal with the issues. But the communities, we are in constant communication with them. They understand the challenges and the pressures that we all faced. We are hopeful that in November we'll be handing over the road back to the people. Thank you.
Next question, Honorable Makhene, again on behalf of Honorable Makwala to MEC for Kokta.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Winter sets the backdrop of initiation season in South Africa, and Gauteng is really in the spotlight for deaths of initiates. However, there has been the reports that during this year's initiation period, deaths were reported within the Atteridgeville area in Tshwane. With this in mind, can the MEC please respond to the following questions? How many initiation schools are registered in Atteridgeville? In your response, please further indicate how many initiation schools are registered in the province per region. Are there reports that 4 initiates died in Atteridgeville during this initiation season? How many illegal initiation schools were intercepted during this year's initiation season and got closed for operating illegally? In your response, please explain what happens to the owners of such illegal initiation schools and the initiates who have already been enrolled for their transition from young males to adulthood. Does the department have a contingency plan in dealing with deaths in initiation schools? In your response, please indicate if there are any conditions to be complied with and any assessments done to verify if owners are qualified to operate initiation schools. And does the department engage with all stakeholders, such as traditional leaders, Department of Health, Community Safety and Social Development, in order to prevent deaths, injuries, and ensuring personal hygiene, as well as to avoid malnourishment during this important cultural practice? In your response, please explain the role each stakeholder plays during the initiation season. Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, Premier, Chief Whip. In terms of the first question, our response is that there are no schools that are registered in Atteridgeville. The schools registered in the province are as follows. One, City of Johannesburg. City of Johannesburg, no schools that are registered. City of Tshwane, no schools that are registered. City of Ekurhuleni, no schools that are registered. Sedibeng District, 4 schools registered under the Steady Local Municipality. Western District, 2 schools were registered under Merafong Local Municipality. With respect to Roman figure 2, 1 fatality was recorded in the Atteridgeville area. Roman figure 3, a total of 7 schools were closed in Atteridgeville, 5 for males and 2 for females. A total number of 129 initiates were rescued in the set initiation schools. The 2 principals of illegal initiation schools were arrested and cases were opened at Atteridgeville Police Station. Initiates were transferred to different hospitals around Atteridgeville for checkups and then released to their parents. Roman figure 4, the department is working with Provincial Initiation Coordinating Committee, PIC, to prevent death in initiation schools. All initiations applications are assessed before they can be granted permission to operate, guided by the Customary Initiation Act of 2021. In terms of Roman figure 5, the PICC has established a technical support team in terms of Section 16, subsection 1A of the Customary Initiation Act number 2 of 2021, and the role are as follows. Firstly, the Department of Health assists with screening initiates before they undertake the initiation process, and also after the initiation has been rescued from illegal initiation schools. 2, the Department of Social Development's role in the protection of rights of children, including checking if initiation principals were not convicted under Section 120 of the Children's Act. They also provide counseling to initiate and initiates and parents in the event of the abuse and fatalities at any initiation school. That would be our response, Madam Speaker.
Any supplementary question, Honorable Makgena?
No, Speaker, no supplementary question, but the MEC was on point. He should be the Premier. I thank you.
Madam Speaker.
Next question.
Supplementary.
Okay.
13989. 1389, sorry.
Unfortunately, that's not the relevant question
But
for
this
this
is what,
section.
13?
Can we therefore go to the next one? Honorable Schneemann to MEC for Transport and Logistics.
Madam Speaker,
Is
I
that
will
on
take
behalf
it for him.
Is that on behalf of Honorable Schneemann?
Yes.
Okay. Honorable Mfikwe.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. On behalf of Honorable Schneemann, to the MEC for Roads and Logistics, I vote. I'm on the platform. Can I be protected, Madam Speaker?
You are
by the
protected,
Premier
Honorable
and Member
Mfikwe.
Masilela?
Honorable Masilela, I'm sure you are.
No.
Please, Honorable Masilela. Honorable Masilela, please.
Noting that there are some 400 robots on provincial roads which fall under the jurisdiction of the Department of Transport.
The member is
and
not
Logistics.
audible, Madam Speaker.
Could the MEC please indicate, one, the number of robots not working beyond 30 days, and what are the plans to repair these robots? What are the intervention measures in place to curb vandalism of robots? 3, what is the turnaround time for the repair of these robots? 4, are there any alternative technologies being considered that could ensure the uninterrupted operations of robots? And 5, are there dedicated teams that monitor the operation of robots on provincial roads on a regular basis? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Diale Tlabela.
Thank you, Speaker. Please note that we struggled to hear Member Mfikwe, but we'll try to respond to the question. The total number of robots that are not working beyond 30 days are around 55. The department is currently installing stop signs until a permanent solution to curb theft and vandalism is implemented. On the intervention measures that we have put in place to curb vandalism of robots are as follows: change or replacement of copper cables with aluminum cables, replacement of signals or at vulnerable intersections, mostly township areas, with stop control signs and traffic circles. The last one is to deploy intersection patrol personnel to deter, identify, and report incidents of theft and vandalism at vulnerable intersections. On our turnaround time to repair robots, minor faults, there is resets are repaired and signals are restored within 24 hours. The major faults, the replacement of control boxes are repaired and signals are restored within 72 hours. On alternative technologies being considered that could ensure the uninterrupted operations of robots, there's a need. We are looking at replacing copper cables with aluminum cables, and the other solution is to use fuel cells to power traffic signals as alternative power supply to deal with power interruptions. The last one is solar-powered traffic signals. Those are the alternatives we are looking at as the department. Lastly, there are dedicated teams that monitor the operations of robots on our provincial roads on a regular basis. The department appointed the service provider to conduct daily physical inspections from Monday to Thursday. The department has a dedicated directorate that manages the traffic engineering, including the traffic signals. The Gauteng Provincial Traffic Signal Service team is structured in line with provincial 5 regions and 4 corridors. There are 5 teams of 8 skilled workers that services the eastern, southern, western, and the northern corridors. The teams are comprised as follows: 1 electrical technician, 1 assistant electrical technician, and 6 general workers. Thank you very much, Member Mfikwe, on behalf of Member Schneemann. Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Mfikwe, any supplementary question or a short remark?
No, we're good, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next question, Honorable Delange to MEC for Human Settlement.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. To the MEC from Human Settlements. Question 1, and this is about the Brickvale illegal development. Why has nothing been done from a regulatory and a legal point of view to halt this illegal housing project, irrespective of the fact that the correct township establishment procedures were not followed and numerous objections were raised against this development even as far back as 2016? Question 2. What was the municipal valuation of this land in question before any development took place versus the purchasing price of this land? Question 3. What was the status of the Dolomite Risk Management Plan to cater for the development as it is underlain by Dolomite? Question 4. There is a total disregard of the building regulations in terms of SANS 10400 as the construction of these units are too close to one another that is posing a fire and safety risk for all inhabitants. Can the MEC confirm that the regulatory requirements have been enforced in terms of NHBRC's requirements? Question 5. Can proof be submitted by the MEC that the design and construction of the sewer and water reticulation network of this development has been approved and signed off? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honourable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. The responses to the questions are as follows. Question 1. The province responded to the request by Mohali City Municipality for acquisition of this land parcel, and negotiations regarding the purchase price were finalized by the municipality. And so I think the honourable member can ask the councillors there of her party to get that. And that was a few years ago, as she has said. In fact, that was question 2. On question 1, the answer is that the town planning and township establishment at Brickvale is being undertaken in phases, and the phase where the units have been built have already obtained the township approval. So the member's allegation that this is illegal have to be tested and proven by the member. So this is the information that the municipality has given us. On question 3, I don't know what are the members' qualification, but clearly, definitely she's not a geologist. So those who are geologists have actually done an extensive geotechnical studies and investigations on the whole land parcel. That has been done already, and the geotech investigation was subjected to rigorous assessment by Council for Geoscience. So founding material used for foundations as per the instructions of the geotech specialists. So I don't know what is the qualification of the member, but secondly, the scientist. And on the next question, the project team has sought assessment and mitigating measures of a fire specialist to mitigate against the fire risk. And measures will be put in place once a report is finalized by the specialist. So the municipality is working on that. And on the last question, yes, there are approved designs, and the municipality will gladly avail them to you. If you need them, I think you can go and contact them. They'll give you those designs. Thanks, Madam Speaker.
Honourable Delange, any supplementary question or a short remark?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Surely, MEC, you know what, this is what happens all the time, is you give me stupid answers on intelligent questions.
Order.
You did not answer any question, and this is not the municipality as the
Honourable
department
Dilange.
bought this place.
Honourable Dilange.
2.1 million rand versus
Honourable
64
Dilange, can you
million rand
listen?
MEC. You need to go do your homework. And let us not compare any intelligence here, please. Thank you, and qualifications. This is not what we're here for. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Honourable Dilange. Honourable Dilange, we actually request respect in this House. The questions are responded to. If you are not happy, don't insult people, please. You need to indicate that you are not happy, or even provide a supplementary or a short remark. But insulting an MEC will not help you, or even this House.
Thank you, Speaker. I did not
Honourable-
see you protect me when the MEC insulted me. Thank you.
But in this House, I didn't hear any MEC insulting you. Can you be orderly?
Madam Speaker.
Can you be orderly?
Madam Speaker.
Hold on. Yeah, before.
Madam Speaker.
Before, Chief Whip, Chief Whip, before. I still want to ask Honourable Dilange that the MEC was responding to the question. I never pick up an issue where you were insulted. So you can't just insult. If you were insulted each other outside of the sitting, I was not there, but don't bring this, the decorum of the House into disrepute. I warn you again, don't do that. Honourable MEC, let me allow the Honourable MEC, or the Chief Whip first.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I believe that Honorable Dilange should unreservedly, unconditionally apologize to the House and withdraw. Because calling honorable members dumb or stupid is even out of her character. I don't know her to be behaving like this. I don't know her to be descending to this particular level. And it will create a wrong precedent that such insults are allowed in this House. Can I ask, Madam Speaker, humbly, that we ask Honorable Dilange to withdraw? Thank you very much.
I've already requested to do that, Honorable Dilange. Honorable Dilange.
Speaker, I will withdraw what I said. I'm sorry if the MEC cannot answer my questions or does not want to answer my questions. We'll take it up further. Thank you, Will.
Okay. Because it's not about the MEC only, but it's about us as well, as members of this House. But we take your apology. Honorable Maile.
No, thanks, Honorable Speaker. I don't need protection from anyone. But anyway, as you have said, it's about the House. So thanks for restoring the decorum of the House. I think the honorable member must realize that when I answer, she doesn't have to like my answers, unfortunately. So I have given an answer to the honorable member and to the House as required and obliged by the rules of the House. And we will continue to answer questions that are raised by members. Unfortunately, sometimes they don't have to like the answers that we give. So an allegation that we have not answered any question is also unfounded, and in fact demonstrates my suspicion about the lack of comprehension on the part of the member. Thank you very much.
Next question, Honorable Shabalala to MEC for Kokta.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Further to Kokta 060, could the MEC please indicate? Please provide specifications of mobile generators hired from N. Nikosi and Associates CC and Ongi General Trading, including other services rendered. Are the following invoices the only invoices that the municipality paid for hiring of mobile generator? Invoice 010056, supplier owned reference number NMA/MU/22/01. Invoice Z000917, supplier owned ref ELMVO/05/002. Invoice 000917, supplier owned ref ELM01/04/22. What was the purpose of hiring these generators? When were these generators hired? How much has the municipality paid these service providers mentioned in the last 5 financial years? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable MEC.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. In law, we've got something called the jury and de facto. So I suppose I will answer to the de facto mayor of Mfuleni. With respect to Roman figure 1, there were no mobile generators. No mobile generator was leased by the municipality. The operational way they're being leased. In terms of Roman figure 2, the response is as follows. There's an invoice 1010056, invoice Z00917, and invoice 00917. These are invoices related to procurement of the generator, not leasing, procurement. What was the purpose? Roman figure 3, no mobile generator was leased by the municipality, so the answer stands. Roman figure 4, no mobile generator was leased by municipality. And Roman figure 5, for Ongi as a service provider, 11,941,589.83 was spent. For N Mikosi, 3,901,010.19 was spent. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Shabalala, do you have a supplementary question or a short remark?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Between the MEC and the municipal manager of Mfuleni, I don't know who's misleading this house. I wanted to say they are lying, but for the lack of a better word, I'll say they are misleading this house. Earlier this year, Honorable Speaker, I asked questions regarding service providers doing business with Mfuleni. And one of the line items was the hiring of mobile generators by the mentioned service providers. There were 3 line items where Mfuleni was saying we hired mobile generators from these service providers. The first one was 1.9 million to hire a mobile generator. I think the second one was 1.4, the second one was 1.2. Now, I just want to say to the MEC, he needs to investigate the municipal manager of Mfuleni, because I think the municipal manager of Mfuleni is lying. And to show that he's covering something, the fact that he's covering something, there are elements of corruption. But the MEC is saying they've procured. We will table further questions to understand what kind of generators were procured by Mfuleni and his capacity. But we're not going to let this lie. We are going to further pursue this until we get the honest replies. MEC must not listen to
short remark.
The mayor of, the MM of Mfuleni.
Short remark.
And then in relation to what he said about the mayor of Mfuleni, he must understand those are prophetic words. 2026, the day will take that municipality. I will be the mayor of that municipality. Thank you very much.
Honorable MEC.
The problem with my friend is that he does not understand what is the difference between de facto and de jure, but I'll lead him there. Secondly, if you say to me, I must not listen to the MM of Mfuleni, why ask me questions? Because where would I find those answers from? I need to go to Mfuleni and get those answers. Unlike you, who've got some answers and questions somewhere, I will not do that. For integrity of our process and respecting the House, we will always go to municipality to get the answers as such, Madam Speaker. I will leave it there. Thank you.
Next question, Honorable Bloom to MEC for Health and Wellness.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. With regard to the angiogram machine at the Schadenmaker Johannesburg Hospital, the MEC please indicate, 1, why was the old machine decommissioned so rapidly 3 months or more before replacement would be available? 2, how many heart patients will experience or have experienced significant delays in procedures that need this machine? 3, which company bought the machine and how much did they pay for it in rands and cents? 4, what process was followed in selling the old angiogram machine? And 5, what steps are being taken to ensure all heart patients who need an angiogram get it in good time? Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, can I ask a permission to you to forward the questions from it that Mr. Bloom is asking? Because some of the answers that I need to know, I was still waiting from them from the CEO. With your permission, Madam Speaker, especially the ones that talk to rents and cents that he wants to know.
Okay. Honorable Bloom.
Yes, well, I hope to get a full answer, and I suppose it is quite detailed, and I do need those figures, so it can be done in good time. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go to the next one, which is Honorable Bloom again to MEC for Health and Wellness.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With regard to the Justice for Babita petition by the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, will the MEC please indicate, 1, what action has been taken to blacklist the 224 companies investigated and identified by the SIU to have been involved in the corruption at the Tembisa Hospital? 2, what other action has been taken in regarding disciplinary action against all officials that have been implicated, including the Chief Financial Officer, Larata Madio, Tembisa Hospital CEO, Ashley Batunzi, and the other officials at the Tembisa Hospital? 3, what accounts for any delays in action in 1 and 2 above? And 4, what further action is contemplated in this matter? Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Submitted all the names of the companies that are supposed to be blacklisted to Provincial Treasury, and they are busy with that process. Then the second one, in terms of twins, is the DC. Where this next month, which is October, they are going for DC, those officials that are involved, including the CEO of Tembisa. Then the fourth one, the third one, what accounts of, I think that one is linked to the second one, to the third one, sorry, and the fourth one. But I'll submit those details again to Mr. Bloom.
Okay. Honorable Bloom, any short remark or supplementary question?
Look, I hope it doesn't become a precedent that questions put in due time are not fully answered in the House. I mean, I have to accept what the MEC has said, that it's not available, but I really think they need to tighten up on this matter. With regard to this petition, we really do need justice for Babita, and there will only be justice when not only these disciplinary actions take place, that the companies implicated are blacklisted, but we want to know the mastermind behind this, who ordered her assassination. We really need to know that. Thank you.
MEC, you want to make comments?
I'm noting what Member Bloom is saying, ma'am, and then I'll definitely submit everything to him, including the dates for the date of the hearing. He will be aware of. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the questions to the executive in terms of Rule 134. We're now going to deal with written questions for oral explanation and tabling in the House in terms of Rule 137 sub 5. Honorable Mazibugo, question 052 and question 053 were responded late last night, and in terms of the rule, these questions should have been responded by 15 hours yesterday. Can we get an explanation? Honorable Mazibuko. I think what we will do, if she's not online, we'll follow through. And Chief Whip, I think we did not even receive an apology if she's not online. We'll just write to the MEC.
Madam Speaker, you are calling which MEC?
MEC Mazibuko.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was connected. Let me check. She was connected.
Okay. The next question, again, it's Honorable Ralihuku. Questions HL084 and question HL090. They were also not responded.
My apologies, Madam Speaker. I've submitted the questions, but it was already late, I agree. But I've answered to them.
Honorable MCs, we always indicate that if it's difficult for you to respond on time, please write to the Speaker and request the indulgence so that you are aware that there is still a challenge. Question Coctas 075, Honorable Kumalo. It has not been responded to.
Madam Speaker, we want to apologize to your council and to the House because at the time of your deadline, we have not received the appropriate answer from the municipality concerned, so we could not submit as per your expectation, but also to apologize that we didn't do what you requested us to do, to write a letter and give an explanation. But we'll do submit the answer as soon as we receive it. Thank you very much.
Can I therefore ensure that we get those answers or even a written explanation as to why we have not received the said responses? Thank you very much. That concludes the business for the day. Our next sitting will be on Tuesday, the 19th of September at 10 hours sharp. Thank you very much. The House is adjourned.
Speaker. Speaker.
you.